Good evening and welcome to MNB World. You're watching News Mongolia. I'm your host, Amir Khabatar. And for our top stories, officials recommend small Lunar New Year celebrations in 2022. New Minister of Environment and Tourism appointed. New Mongolian ambassadors appointed to South Korea, Kuwait and the Swiss Confederation. And for other news, stay tuned. Next month, Mongolians will be celebrating Tsaghasar, the Lunar New Year. On Wednesday, National Emergency Commission organized a press briefing where Deputy Prime Minister Amir Sakhan provided some clarifications on National Emergency Commission's and Cabinet's decisions.
The number of COVID-19 cases in Mongolia, which was steadily dropping in November, drastically increased after the New Year holiday when many people traveled to visit friends and family. The Ministry of Health and related authorities have warned that a fourth wave of COVID-19 driven by the Omicron variant will peak in February, which is an issue of concern for local emergency commissions regarding the pressure that will be placed on healthcare services. According to the Ministry of Health, 60,000 cases per day might be recorded during the peak of Omicron variant in February. Therefore, related ministries are discussing the possibilities of postponing in-class lessons of secondary schools, State's Deputy Minister. Earlier this year, Prime Minister Ayurton has announced that the state Todlat ceremony, a traditional holiday greeting, would be skipped in support of efforts to prevent infection. Despite the instructions from the National Emergency Commission and medical teams, the government of Mongolia decided to go on with the plan of organizing national wrestling tournament for Lunar New Year festival. Although private Tsaghasar gatherings are not banned, the public is advised to avoid large gatherings to prevent the spread of the Omicron variant.
The Ministry of Health and the National Center for Communicable Diseases provided its daily updates on COVID-19 status in Mongolia. Details as follows.
The Ministry of Health today reported that 3,119 new COVID-19 cases were detected after tests were carried out at PCR laboratories across the country. In the past 24 hours, 3 new COVID-19 deaths were recorded. All new cases were confirmed domestically, out of which 1,725 were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar and 1,394 in the provinces. 9,742 COVID-19 patients are being treated at hospitals nationwide. Additionally, 47,172 patients are being treated at home. Among the patients being treated at hospitals, 3,214 are showing mild symptoms of illness and 76 are in critical condition. As of now, around 2.17 million people, or 66.7% of the population, have had 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine, and 30% of the population has received the 3rd dose, and 2% has had the 4th dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. Concerning the rising surge of COVID-19 in the country, the National Emergency Commission has made suggestions to celebrate the Lunar New Year only in the household and to extend the school winter break or resume to online classes. The Deputy Minister said that even if there are 20 to 30,000 daily cases confirmed, there is no need to impose a strict lockdown.
Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
At its plenary meeting, Parliament of Mongolia discussed the President's proposal to recall and appoint new ambassadors of Mongolia abroad. After discussing matters and asking questions regarding the appointments, a vote was taken. Parliament supported the appointments of Sarantagos, Siriklang, and Girilma as ambassadors of Mongolia to the Republic of Korea, the State of Kuwait, as well as the Swiss Confederation, respectively, as proposed by the President. Prime Minister Ayurton issued an ordinance on appointing Batirtan Batultsi as the Minister of Environment and Tourism. The ceremony of signing the appointment of a new member of the government was held at the 9 White Banners Hall. Batirtan was born in Ulaanbaatar in 1977, finished the 77th School of Ulaanbaatar in 1996, and graduated from Ulaanbaatar University in 2010, majoring in Korean translations. He also holds a master's degree in history. He has 18 years of experience in working for the state, namely as the CEO of Silk Road Travel LLC and Air Ticket LLC from 2003 to 2012, a consultant at the Communications Regulatory Commission of Mongolia in 2011 and 2012, General Secretary at the Mongolian Social Democratic Youth Union under the MPP in 2012 to 2015. advisor to the Deputy Prime Minister of Mongolia in 2015, Vice President of the Mongolian State Professional Inspection Agency in 2015 and 2016, advisor at Parliament's office in 2016 and 2017, Head of Development Policy Research Center of Irtnet City in 2017 and 2018, Vice Chief of the Cabinet Secretariat in 2018, Head of Development Policy Research Center of Irtnet City in 2019 and 2020, Head of the Authority for Fair Competition and Consumer Protection since August 2020. The previous Minister of Environment and Tourism, Ortnasan, was dismissed due to the ministry's failure in delivering adequate results in the execution of policies to reduce air pollution and to complete certain tasks assigned by the Prime Minister.
In our next story, we're highlighting a family that is teaching their children to save on energy. Parents say that they prefer giving practical knowledge to their children rather than saving money or accumulating wealth. Parents note that adults should live by example in actions rather than just by words.
Patpoyin has 2 children and he lives in a 3-room apartment. Their monthly electricity bill does not exceed 25,000 Mongolian tugreks. Let's compare their monthly electricity bill with the bill of a family of 4 to 5 people living in 3-room apartment just like Patpoyin. His family saves about 20 to 30,000 Mongolian tugreks per month and more than 300,000 Mongolian tugreks annually.
We turn off any electrical appliance we are not using at that time, so our children learn from us. Children even check to see if the lights or electrical equipment are left on.
The actions of the parents have become a habit in the minds of their children. These children say they feel they are doing something wrong if they use more electricity or leave electrical appliances turned on.
Instead of just turning off the TV set, we need to unplug it. Do not turn off the room lights during the daytime. For example, instead of turning on the lights in this room, I use a desk lamp.
I'm interested in classical music. It doesn't use any electricity, so I think I'm saving electricity. For me, saving electricity has become a daily habit.
A child psychologist says that if a child between 0 to 6 years old adopts a habit, it can become a lifelong habit.
If parents set an example in saving electricity, the children can develop good habits from an early age. Rather than telling them off or scolding already grown-up teenagers, we need to just set a good example at an early age. It's enough to get him or her into this or that habit at the age of 0 to 6 years old, and it can become a lifelong habit.
Last year, our country's energy sector consumption reached a record of 1,308 megawatts. It's an increase of 6% compared to the previous year. But Patpoyin's family emphasizes the importance of making children aware from an early age that energy and electricity are limited resources.
Now let's take a look at our regular feature on sports. Athletes of the national team to participate in the Beijing Winter Olympics and Paralympics, which will begin in February, will receive a one-time bonus, a government spokesman said. On May 27, 2021, the government adopted resolution number 156 on some measures to be taken for the national team. According to the resolution, in order to provide real support to the social security of the national team athletes, the athletes who have won the right to participate in the Tokyo 2020 Summer Olympics and Paralympics were given a one-time bonus of 10 million MNT. Therefore, the government has approved a one-time bonus for athletes who have qualified for the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics and Paralympics. Government spokeswoman Batlortoya said, "We believe that the government support will be real psychological and financial support for the athletes who are qualified for the Winter Olympics and Paralympics to train well and compete with the world's top athletes." As of January 18, 2022, 3 athletes of the national team have won qualification to participate in the Winter Olympics and Paralympics. In the future, athletes are likely to secure 1 ticket each in skating, biathlon and cross-country ski, and increase the number by a further 3. Here's the weather forecast of world's major cities. Well, that's all for today, and thank you for staying with us. We will see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.